of you who don't know me, my name is Jennifer Cottis, and I'm a business coach to solo entrepreneurs, and I've been doing this since 2010. And today's topic is how to thrive on a 10-hour business week. So the other day, I had a client come to me and say, I literally only have 10 hours a week to work on my business. And I usually press on this a little bit to say, really, is that all you have? Can you find other pockets of time? But we went over it, and that was literally all she had. And she's a single mom, didn't have additional support or childcare. She had these windows of opportunity where she could drop her kids off, I think at a preschool, and she would have these little windows of opportunity. So that was her time to actually build the business. And so we proceeded to talk about how she can structure her time to thrive on 10 hours a week. And this is also something that I've been teaching since 2010, and I've been using myself for years, okay? So let's talk about it. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a formula today on how to structure your business with only 10 hours a week. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the scenario that you may legitimately have only 10 hours a week. So a lot of people are potentially leaving their 9-to-5 and building their business as more of a side hustle. You may be a single mom and that's like your limited time that you have. You may be in a position of, this is the 10 hours a week that I can do right now, but if I can make more money, I can bring my husband home and he can support me more. So instead of him having to work long hours, there are so many scenarios where you just really may have only 10 hours a week. And the idea is that if you so choose, as you start earning more income in your business, the money may need to come first in order for you to allow that, right? So we want to make the most of your 10 hours now so that you can kind of expand your time, whether that's expanding your time in your life or expanding your available time to work on your business. Let's talk about how to structure your time. So I have something that is called the 60-20-10-10 formula. By the way, 60-20-10-10 adds up to 100, right? So this is percentages of time that you should be spending on specific activities in that allotted time that you have. So if you have 10 hours, then 60% of that time is 6 hours, 20% of that time is 2 hours, 10% is 1 hour, and then another 10% is 1 hour. And I'm going to explain right away what to do with that, with those time blocks. Okay, so okay, so let's see if you can see this, and maybe a visual is better for you guys. So I'm just going to bring this on. Okay, so 60-20-10-10. Pardon my rating. I'm not really great at that. So 60% of your time is always, and it's ABP, always be promoting. So what does that look like? Okay, so that could be talking to people, making connections. It is inviting people to a free experience, inviting people for a comp call. The comp call could be a 15-minute discovery session or just a conversation. It could be a half an hour discovery session. It could be a full hour. I do full hours. You could do an audit of a website if that's your service. You can do a health intake consultation if that's your service, but some kind of free experience to allow for a conversation to happen and to get the person offline. But really you can be posting in other groups, connecting with people, commenting on other people's posts and giving value and building relationships. So that could be, you're always be promoting that you're 60% of the time so that you're building up your audience and you're just connecting with those relationships, okay? So that's what always be promoting might look like. It's talking to people and getting into a invitation to invest in your services kind of conversation, okay? So 20% of the time, we're just gonna go back here, 20% of the time is doing the paid work. And then I'm gonna just touch on 10% of the time is doing the admin work, and then the other 10% of the time is special project. So admin is like bookkeeping, that kind of thing, invoicing, maybe it's your planning, it's confirming your calendar. It might be sending emails to confirm your next appointment. It might be confirming your free experience that you might be giving out the next day. Now, maybe you thought I would come on here and talk about like how to do an automated funnel, and we'll talk about that at the end and how to create more efficiencies in your business. But what I'm seeing is that the people that come to me and they say, I really like don't have any time. Like, I'm a single mom, I want to be home with my child, or I'm a new mom and I feel like I'm single parenting. I feel like I'm doing it all, and and my husband's busy working and bringing in an extra income for the family. But I still want to really build my business, want to earn more money for my family, and also it's my passion project, and this is what I want to do. But I really only have 10 hours a day. So typically, when you do have this 10 hours a day, you're in a position of starting out, or you're like way down the line and you're like, I've mastered my business and I'm bringing in like, my regular 6 figures every year or month, if that's the case for you. And things are just kind of rolling and thriving. But usually when people come to me, it is the early starters, when you are in a position where that's what you have to work with and you're looking to expand your business and grow your business and accelerate the business growth, right? So this is what I'm giving you here today. 20% is doing the paid work. So that is, if you get paid for coaching, then 2 hours a week, you're doing 2 1-hour coaching sessions per week, 4 30-minute coaching sessions per week. Or if you are doing website development, then you're basically doing 2 hours a week of website development for another client. Or if you're a social media manager, it's 2 hours per week, right? So I'm going to get to exactly how to structure your services for that. The special projects. So this is where, especially if you're starting out, I've seen people hang out on special projects when I'm recommending that it should really only be 10% of your time, especially if you only have 10 hours a week. So special projects are building your website, creating landing pages, setting up your email system, anything that does not involve either talking to people or doing the work, okay? Or admin. But that's the special project. So it could be that a special project could even be about planning a launch down the road, right? So that is 1 hour per week when you have 10 hours. So really what I'm doing for you here today is giving you the low-hanging fruit, the most effective way, especially when you are starting out in your business, to thrive on 10 hours a week. And that is spending 60% of your time promoting and structuring your business in a way that you can spend 20% of your time actually doing the work. Okay, so just to break down the always be promoting piece of it a little bit more, and just to make sure I've covered everything off, I want you to talk to as many people as possible during your 6 hours per week. Offer some kind of free experience, like an audit, a comp call, a consult. Now, here's another tip for you. In those conversations that you are getting people offline, talking to them, I want you to incorporate a request for referrals into each kind of free experience conversation. And so this is in line with the invitation to invest in your services, but you can do it in a way that, well, if they aren't ready to invest in your service at this time, do you know 1 or 2 people that you think could use, now that you've experienced me, do you think you can think of 1 or 2 people that could use my services? And to really build in that referral system to create another efficiency in terms of bringing more people into your network. And it works really beautifully and nicely. When I started my business coaching business in 2010, I had built a full-time business coaching business within 6 months, which I think is a really great time. And then after that, it was referral based. And I found that always be promoting, going to networking events, and I actually didn't have to spend as much time in that area. But it also depends on where you are in your ambition and really how you want to keep going. So if as you go. So you can trade off that 60-20 ratio, but if you want to keep growing, stick to that 60% of always be promoting. You might hear others say 80-20, but then you're not giving like 80% always be promoting, 20% doing the work, but then you're not really giving your yourself some space for the tedious admin stuff if that's what you have to do, especially when you're starting out. And the 20% special or the other 10% of special project. And I like the restriction on the 10% on a special project so that you aren't getting stuck in perfection mode when it comes to like your website or your landing page, because I see so many people get stuck there. Okay, so that's number 2. So the formula I've given you, break down how you're going to do the always be promoting, and then incorporate a referral system into that. Number 3, you can charge more. So if your time is so limited and you have a certain income goal that you need to run your business, then look at your packages, create a higher premium price package, and add the value to it and charge more, so that by working 2 hours per week, which is 2, 4, 6, 8 hours in a month, then you can sustain a living on how that works. So yeah, so the more you can charge, the less clients you need. So that always be promoting effort, might be a little bit more lucrative for you, right? So let's give an example of that. So I kind of broke this down. So say you have an income goal of $4,000, and I'm using simple math here, $4,000 per month. That is I put 2K per week, but that is not the case. So $1,000 per week. So you're really, did I do this math right? With 2 hours, that's what I meant to say. So 2 hours per week. So then you've got $500 an hour. Is that right? If the math isn't right, let me know. So you're basically charging $500 an hour for your services. So this is essentially a low-hanging fruit to reach out for one-on-one connection and offer some kind of premium experience for your client when you really don't have an audience. So if you are going for if you have a mass audience and you've got that volume there that you can kind of promote to, so you can offer lower price things. But at the beginning, and I know that this might feel anti-intuitive, but just have confidence in the expertise and the brilliance that you are, and structure a package in a way that offers a ton of value, and then you can work 10 hours a week and still create an income for yourself that is comfortable for you and your living. And then it'll allow you to invest in your business even more and to make a bigger reach make a bigger impact, because you'll be able to reach out to a bigger audience when you have the resources to do it. Now, another option when you have 2 hours a week is that you can spend on delivering a paid course as well. So, but look at the numbers. So you've got 20 people. So say you have 20 people at $197, or you need 10 people at $397 per month to bring you up to that same level of $4,000, right? So then in that case, you need a larger audience. You can either charge more for a premium product or do the automated thing with a larger audience, charge less, but then you have to enroll and engage more people. So it really depends on where you are in your business. If you have the audience, then go for that, okay? So those are my 3 key points. You've got your formula, the 60-20-10-10 formula. I broke down how the always be promoting and the idea of incorporating a referral system into that to create that efficiency. And then another efficiency is about charging more, okay? Charging more because you have less time and you are brilliant. You have expertise to share. You have an amazing service. So craft an offer that gives your ideal clients that value. Now, just to add a bit more, there's some comments here. Oh, we've got visitors. Tanis, welcome. Chris, thanks for joining me today. So some efficiencies that you can do, and I already talked about this, but add more value so you can charge more. you can have multiple, like 2 or 3 packages. And when I say multiple, like 2 or 3 packages, you don't want to get crazy, where you can price your premium package and then relative to a moderate package and then a small package. So even if you're reaching out for the premium package and it's like just like a really tough price point for someone, then you can say, well, I have these entry level packages that you can to offer you as well. So that's a really nice way to incorporate that into your offerings. Do something automated. So you can do an Ever webinar to some kind of course, but that being said, you've got 10% of your time to work on special projects. So in order to put that in place, it doesn't work within this particular formula, and an audience helps and Facebook ads help as well. So in order to do that, and you might not be in that phase at the beginning. So I want to encourage you to talk directly to people and focus on that initial 60, 20, 10, 10, always be promoting idea. Okay. So use that 10 hours to help you expand. So you can either leave your 9 to 5, right? So you want to earn more income and start replacing your income for your 9 to 5. Afford some automation, whether it's paying for technology, Facebook ads, and then to hire out so that you can take your business to the next level, whether it's a VA or hire out, and because you might be choosing to only do a business for 10 hours a week, or maybe 15, or maybe 20, right? So, but you can also delegate in your household. You can hire house cleaners. You can maybe afford to order in more, things like that, right? So you want to enhance your life and your business. So those are just some kind of ideas for efficiencies that you can incorporate into the 60, 20, 10, 10. Now, obviously, if you have more than 10 hours, you have 20 hours, you can apply the same formula to 20 hours a week. If you had, so you're doubling that, right? So 60% is 12 hours, 20% is 4 hours, 10% is 2 hours, and another 10% is another 2 hours. So even if you are working in your business 40 hours a week, which I don't personally think you have to have a thriving business, to have, especially with the online tools available, this formula still works for that goal. Okay, like still organize your business according to the 60, 20, 10, 10, and you will be growing and thriving and amazing. So that was how to thrive on a 10-hour business week. And and this is, and I went back to the story of, I'd like to go back to the story of the solo mom who came to me and just didn't have more time to give, and that was my inspiration for doing this live today. Now, if for those of you who want more, you can get on my email list. I put the link in the comments, but you can simply download the Entrepreneurial Women's Guide, 3 Steps to Ease and Earning. And you can just click on there, grab the guide, and you'll be added to my email list. I can always also offer you a complimentary session because I do a free experience. I may ask you for referrals, and I'll put that in the comments as well. And it'll take you to my landing page to apply for a coaching session. When you fill out that form, I will contact you for a relaxed conversation, and then we will go into, and then we will decide from there whether my services are right for you, and then we can do a full 1-hour coaching experience with me, and I can help you deep dive into this a little bit more. Bear in mind, with this time, I want to call it time management formula, return on energy formula, I do full day workshops on this. So a big part of this is really knowing what your goals and your metrics are, and using and then plugging in the income producing activities, like in that always be promoting block of time, so that you are getting the return on your energy and on your efforts for how you're spending that time. So I gave you really one suggestion on how to spend that time, and that's really just talking to people, especially if you only have that 10 hours and you're just starting out. That is the best way to build relationships and create raving fans, right? But as you grow your business, I have spent full days, like full workshops, on really honing in on your planning, on your goal setting, on identifying your income producing activities, on planning all of this and plugging it into your calendar. If you have not watched my Managing Your Return on Energy video that I did last week for Thrive Morning Thursday, go back and watch that, because that's going to give you also another piece of this whole framework that I coach my clients on. So I'm really giving you as much value as possible here that I can do in a live. And if you want to connect on a deeper level, definitely reach out, and I'm really happy to connect with you. Thanks for being here live, for those of you who are live, and we will catch you next time.